Hey everybody, this is John from DroidDog.com. The next video in our EVO versus iPhone series is a speed test, and I'm going to be running SpeedTest.net's app on both devices using Wi-Fi, on both devices using 3G, and then on the EVO using 4G. I'm also going to do a little death grip reception test on the iPhone. Now this one was a user request, so if you have something you'd like to see me do with both of these devices, let me know on Twitter. That's phonedog_John. I can't guarantee I'll get to all of them, and this is not one of my regular Q&R series, but I do want to know what you guys think are the most important points to compare and contrast between these two phones. So let me know. Alright, let's get to it. First up is EVO 4G over Wi-Fi, and you'll see that I have 1 bar of Wi-Fi signal strength at the moment. It's fluctuating between 1 and 2 out of 3. Plus the dot at the bottom of the icon. I am 1 room away from the Wi-Fi with a closed door. That's part of the experiment here. I also want to see if the iPhone gets stronger Wi-Fi signal with less signal strength. Alright. First test we'll do is SpeedTest.net. Retrieving server list. So we've got 1,334 kilobits per second down and 575 kilobits per second up. I'm going to leave that sitting right there so you can see it, if I can keep it in focus, while we test the iPhone. And the iPhone will be tested after a fresh boot, as the EVO 4G was, which is now at 2 bars above the dot in the icon. iPhone is showing full signal strength for the Wi-Fi. As you can see, the 3G signal is creeping back up after I moved my hand away from the edge of the phone. It takes a few seconds for that to recover. Okay. Blazing download speeds. By the way, I have installed the over-the-air update on the EVO 4G. It was the first update that went out, which included some Wi-Fi fixes. So for the iPhone, we got 7,334 kilobits per second down and 470 kilobits per second up, tested right after one another after a fresh boot over Wi-Fi. So clearly the iPhone beats the EVO in download speeds by a broad margin. Upload is pretty comparable. And now it's time to test 3G. So I'm turning Wi-Fi and 4G off on the EVO. You'll see that we're connected with 3G with 4 out of 6 bars on Sprint's network. So that's pretty decent, right? (1125 kilobits per second down). And 168 kilobits per second up. I think that's worse than I usually get. And I will disable the Wi-Fi on my iPhone. You can see that we're getting full bars on AT&T there, which is great. Maybe a little unfair to the EVO. Substantially better results from the iPhone so far. 4,206 kilobits per second down. $1,274 up. So that's a pretty ridiculous difference. I'll run the EVO again. Yeah, that's even worse than it was before. Well, I think it's safe to say iPhone gets this one. Next step, the EVO 4G on 4G. Alright, I'm having much better luck over by the window here. It's fluctuating between 1 and 2 bars. So let's give it a shot here. Much better, 3065 kilobits per second down. And 975 up. And now it's time to kill AT&T's signal. Show you how rapidly this happens, or how slowly, depending on how you look at it. I'm giving the phone the death grip now, and we can watch the bars go down. Can we get rid of that last one? Squeeze it tighter. Maybe not. So let's go ahead and run the speed test while holding the phone improperly. Keep those bars in there. You can see what we're getting here. $290 down. $78 up. That's pretty bad. Now watch this when I change my grip on the device. I'm not touching the lower left-hand corner of the phone at all. 1 back up, 2 back up, 3 back up, like magic. New York Times defaults to the mobile version on Android, so I'm going to use Droid Dog for our sample site here. Very close. It's going to be a photo finish. iPhone is done. And the EVO is done. So I don't know, what was that, maybe 5 seconds or so that the iPhone beat the EVO by. So now you guys have been sending me questions about doing pinch to zoom comparisons. I already did this in the unboxing, but because there were problems with the EVO's 4G at the time, or I'm sorry, EVO's Wi-Fi connectivity, I'll do it again. So clearly the EVO did better this time in a page load competition. Just to show you what it's like to flick around in here. Again, the iPhone gives you a little more friction, so you have to you know, put more energy into it to scroll. And from here on out, everything else is the same. But I hope I addressed any concerns you guys had about Wi-Fi issues before. Now be sure to stay tuned for my EVO versus iPhone final verdict written review, where I will get more in depth about what I like or dislike about browsing on each device.